What's good? I'm Jacob Denzel. Imagine showing these two pictures to a 6-year-old child. Which one do you think they say looks most like God? We know the answer to this. I'm pretty sure that if you walked into any kindergarten classroom in the world, the children would most likely agree that it's the picture on the left. Not only would they agree, I'd imagine that they'd argue you down if you tried to convince them otherwise. It makes sense. About 7 billion people on Earth today, 4 billion of them subscribe to at least one of the major monotheistic religions, all of which refer to God as Him, He, or Father. So whether you believe God has a penis or not, you're surrounded by the mass conscious idea that God is in fact a male. But what if when we said God, our first thought was her, she, or mother? What would that look like? And even crazier, what if also when we thought of our Heavenly Mother, the first picture that came to mind was a black woman? What would the world look like? Let's check it out.
So currently in our world where the common picture of God looks like this, we exist in a white supremacist patriarchy, meaning the privilege in this world tends to be granted to men, and the lighter and more masculine the man, the better. Well, in a world where Googling God would bring up search results that look like this, everything will be completely turned on its head. In our current world, out of the 54 African countries, all of them have been invaded and colonized by European countries. And out of the 50 European countries, none of them have been colonized by Africa. But in a world where God was a black girl, maybe the Europeans would have been dominated by Africans. Maybe they would have been the slaves. Africa would be the worldwide superpower, led by a legion of queens. And then again, maybe not. This idea of invasion and domination that we're so used to in our current world is really a quite masculine idea. Men like to dominate and kill, but in a matriarchy, maybe there wouldn't be countries. Maybe the entire world would run on a system of governance that focused much more on community than control. 1 in 5 women wouldn't be raped in this world. No, rape would always be punishable by death. It may not even be a thing that really happens to women because aggression, war, and all things masculine would be looked at just as despicably as we tend to look at the feminine in this world. War wouldn't be a thing. Disputes would probably be settled maybe by a national debate that was mediated by the World Governing Council of Women. And those debates wouldn't be in English. Of course not. Remember, the black woman is God here. So Swahili is the most prominent language on earth, followed closely by Zulu, Oromo, and Hausa. This woman's name is Abayomi. This woman's name is Miss Baby, and this guy lives in Nigeria with the last name Inikwe, and he has no idea his European country of origin because that information was lost in the slave trade. Oh yeah, and Nigeria isn't even called Nigeria. It's still the Yoruba and Igbo kingdoms. And this building isn't in Paris. It's in a city called New Tamari with a population that is 83% black. Women rule this world.
What we now know is America would have just gotten its first white president in 2008, and every single president since 1776 would have been a black woman. It goes without saying that this first white president was of course a white woman president, because there's never been a male one. And in this world, men are questioned on a daily basis about why they haven't gotten married yet. Their value will lie in whether or not they are a partner of a woman. The beauty industry would be specifically targeted towards them. They would get bicep injections and wear padded t-shirts to appear more attractive to women. The pornography industry would be made almost exclusively for black women and would read like Zane novels or black erotica. White women would spend millions of dollars a year on fake dreadlocks and afro wigs, and they wouldn't be doing this to appropriate black culture. No, not at all. They would be trying to survive. Straight European hair would be seen as unprofessional, and they wouldn't be able to climb the corporate ladder without assimilating to black female hegemony. This would be business attire. All history books would speak highly of black women and almost completely erase the existence of the white man in world development. Every major inventor or explorer that you are forced to learn about would be a black woman. All the holidays on the calendar would be celebrating strong black women, and February would be White History Month, where we celebrate the accomplishments of a chosen few white women that most comfortably benefited the expansion of black supremacist matriarchy. And men, they're objects, only as valuable as their muscles. No one would care about whether or not they were sexually pleased or reached orgasms. No, they're sperm containment units. And any man with a low sperm count or weak biceps wouldn't be a man at all, but simply a walking waste of testosterone. If they were being too calculating or structured in a way that reeked disgusting maleness, they would be chastised for lacking emotional intelligence, being rigid, an idiotic male.
Men in this world would know the deep depression of not being acceptable enough to the almighty glare of the black woman. White men would be the bottom of the barrel in this society, the most marginalized group. There would be white male activist groups protesting for the civil rights, screaming, "White lives matter," and they'd be hushed by the black women screaming back, "No, all lives matter." This will be a terrible world for some people and an amazing world for others. As different as it would be, it sounds awfully similar to the one we've grown to know today. Maybe we should think about how this picture of God has affected our mentality a little more critically. I love you.